Dr. Abhijit Muli from Department of Chemistry, Sadhguru Gadge Maharaj College, Karad. In introduction of stereochemistry, we have seen three types of stereoisomerism. First one is conformational stereoisomerism, second one geometrical, and third one optical. Let's see first isomerism, conformational isomerism. What is conformational isomerism? It will start with conformational isomers. Isomers that can be converted into each other without breaking a bond are called as conformational isomers, and the phenomenon related with this conformational isomers is called as conformational isomerism. Let's see first the conformational isomerism in ethane. In ethane, these two carbon atoms, they are sp3 hybridized and bonded with a single bond. Now, since they are bonded with a single bond, they can rotate along this carbon-carbon single bond, and due to rotation of this single bond, there are infinite number of momentary stereoisomers are produced, and these stereoisomers, they are called as conformational isomers of ethane. Why these isomers are produced? These isomers are produced due to carbon-carbon single bond rotation, and since there is no breaking of bond, only these isomers they can converted into each other by mere rotation along carbon-carbon single bond, so they are called as conformational isomers. And this phenomenon which arises this conformational isomers are called as conformational isomerism. Let's see conformational isomerism in ethane. To understand this conformational isomerism, we should draw a Newman projection formula of molecule. It's better to draw a Newman projection formula to understand the conformational isomerism. Let's start. In Newman projection formula, we are showing the frontal carbon with a dot, its 3 hydrogens, the rear carbon with a circle and its 3 hydrogens. Okay, now what is conformational isomerism? Isomerism which arises due to carbon-carbon single bond rotation. By keeping this frontal carbon, we will rotate the rear carbon so that a momentary stereoisomers that are produced called as conformational isomers will be achieved. Let's start with eclipsed conformer, in which hydrogen on the frontal carbon and hydrogen on the rear carbon, they are front of each other. They are in front of each other. That means torsional angle between these two hydrogens is 0 degree. Such type of isomer in which the torsional angle between the two hydrogens from frontal carbon and rear carbon is 0 degree is called as eclipsed isomer of ethane. Now let's rotate, keeping the frontal carbon steady. Let's rotate the rear carbon along the carbon-carbon single bond. We are rotating the molecule. Angle between these two hydrogens will change 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, 4 degree, 5 degree. When the angle between these two hydrogens attains 60 degree, then it is called staggered isomer. That means all the hydrogens are far apart from each other. Maximum angle is maintained between all these 6 hydrogens, that is 60 degree. Such type of isomer is called as staggered isomer, in which all the 6 hydrogens are apart from each other. Now all the infinite isomers between eclipsed and staggered are called as skew isomers. That means if the torsional angle between frontal hydrogen and rear hydrogen is 0 degree, then the isomer is eclipsed isomer. If angle between these two hydrogen is 60 degree, then the isomer is staggered isomer. And the infinite number of isomers produced by carbon-carbon single bond rotation between the angle 0 to angle 60, all these isomers, they are called as skew isomers. That means 1 degree skew, 2 degree, 3 degree, 4 degree, 5 degree, all the isomers are skew. Until 59 it is skew. As soon as angle between these two hydrogens becomes 60 degree, we call that isomer as staggered isomer. Now, why these isomers are generated? Because along the rotation of the molecule along the carbon-carbon single bond, they can be interconverted into each other without breaking a bond. That's why they are called as conformational isomers. Let's see what is the energy difference between these isomers and its analysis. In eclipsed conformation, the two hydrogens, they are very closer to each other, while in staggered conformation these two hydrogens, they are far apart from each other. Maximum distance is attained between these two hydrogens, and since these two hydrogens, they are closer to each other, distance between these two hydrogens is 2.3 angstrom, which is less than van der Waals radii. And due to this closeness of these two hydrogens, there is steric hindrance or steric repulsion, crowding of these two hydrogens since they are closer to each other. So a strain is generated in this molecule. A strain is generated in this molecule due to closeness of these two hydrogens, which are lesser than van der Waals radii. Now another strain is generated in this molecule, which is called as torsional strain. Why this torsional strain is generated? These two electrons, bonding pair of electrons between frontal carbon and hydrogen, and these electron pair between rear carbon and hydrogen, they again come closer to each other, and due to inter-electronic repulsion, a torsional strain is generated. So there are two types of strains that are generated into this eclipsed isomer. First type of strain is steric strain, and second type of strain is torsional strain. And due to these two strain, eclipsed isomer is more energetic than staggered isomer by 12 kilojoule per mole. 12 kilojoule per mole. Okay, why eclipsed isomer is more strain, more energetic than staggered isomer? Due to steric strain produced due to closeness of these two hydrogens, and torsional strain, that is electronic repulsion between these bonding pair of electrons. So it is more energetic than staggered form, and we can draw this in energy profile diagram. Is energy, here is angle of rotation. Let's see angle of rotation and its energy. If the angle is 0 degree, eclipsed, then if we rotate the rear carbon by 60 degree, then staggered. Again, if we rotate the rear carbon by again 60 degree, you will get the eclipsed conformation. But what is the total rotation? 120 degree. Here the rotation is 60 degree. Again, if we rotate the rear carbon with 60 degree, you will get eclipsed conformation. Sorry, staggered conformation. What is the net rotation? 180 degree. Again, if you rotate the rare carbon with 60 degree, you will get eclipse conformation at 240. Again, if you rotate the molecule with 60 degree, eclipse, 300 degree, staggered, 360, again eclipse. Okay, so these are the rotations and the isomers created at 0, eclipse, 60, staggered, 120, again eclipsed, 180, again staggered, 240, eclipse, 300 staggered, and at complete rotation of 360 degree you will get again the same eclipse conformation. Now all these eclipsed conformers, they are highly energetic due to steric strain and torsional strain. This is angle 0, eclipsed conformation, energetic, strained molecule. At 60 degree, staggered, energy lowers. Again at 120, eclipsed, energetic. Then 180, staggered. Then 240, eclipsed. Then 300, again staggered, and lastly 360, eclipse, which is highly energetic. And energy gap between these two isomers is 12 kilojoule. That means molecule have to spend this much amount of energy to maintain eclipsed conformation. Staggered is stable, eclipsed is energetic due to steric strain. And this is all about conformational isomerism in ethane, in which we have seen three types of conformational isomers. One is eclipsed, another one is staggered, and between these eclipsed and staggered, all the isomers, all the conformers, they are called as skewed isomers. Let's see similar conformational isomerism in N-butane. In N-butane, in which the two hydrogens of ethane are replaced by methyl group. This is our molecule CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. Only what we have done? Only we have replaced one of the hydrogen of ethane with CH3 and CH3. Now this molecule can also rotate along carbon-carbon single bond and produce conformational isomer. Let's see what type of conformational isomer it can produce. First one, eclipsed. In which all the groups are eclipsing each other. Frontal CH3 and rear CH3 are in front of each other. Angle between these two CH3 is 0 degree. Then, if we rotate the rear carbon with 60 degree, we have rotated this methyl group in 60 degree. Next isomer is produced. Next conformational isomer is produced. Again, if we rotate rear carbon with 60 degree, again eclipsed conformation will be formed. And last one, if we rotate the carbon with again 60 degree, you will get a staggered conformation. Now they can be divided into four types. First one is syn-periplanar. Second one is Gauchy. Third one is anticlinal, and fourth one is antiperiplanar. Syn-periplanar, in which angle between these two methyl groups is 0 degree, which is also called as fully eclipsed, because the two bulky groups CH3 and CH3, they are in front of each other, they are eclipsing each other, so it is called as fully eclipsed. We are taking these two carbons as our reference points, as our reference groups. Then if rotation is 60 degree, this one it is called as Cauchy isomer, in which the angle between two methyl group is 60 degree. It is called partially staggered, because angle between all these groups is 60 degree, but these methyl groups are closer to each other with 60 degree angle, so it is called as Cauchy and partially staggered. Then anticlinal, this one, in which the methyl group is eclipsing the hydrogen from frontal carbon, but angle of rotation is 120, so it is called as partially eclipsed. Partially eclipsed. And last one, in which angle between these two methyl group is 180 degree. That means they are kept far apart from each other. Maximum distance, maximum angle is maintained between these two bulky group. Such type of conformational isomer is called as anti-periplanar. 180 degree is called fully staggered. It is called fully staggered. Okay, so there are two types of eclipse conformation and two types of staggered conformation. Fully eclipsed, sym-periplanar, in which the two methyl groups are in front of each other. Partially eclipsed, which is called as anticlinal, achieved by rotation of 120 degree. In this, methyl group is eclipsing with hydrogen, partially eclipsed. Then partially staggered, in which angle between the two methyl group is 60 degree, and fully staggered, in which angle is attained maximum. Angle between the two methyl group, bulkier groups, is 180 degree. Now again, if you rotate the molecule in 60 degree, you will get anticlinal. That means at angle 240, you will get anticlinal. If you rotate molecule again in 60 degree, that means at 300 degree, you will get Cauchy. And again, if you rotate in 60 degree, that means total rotation will be 360, you will get sym-periplanar isomer. And all the isomers between 0, 60, 120, 180, 240, 300, 360, except these angles, you will get skew isomer. This is conformational isomerism in N-butane. Okay, what are the isomers? Two types of eclipsed, fully eclipsed, partially eclipsed. Two types of staggered, fully staggered and partially staggered. And all these isomers, they can be converted into each other without breaking a bond, so they are called as conformational isomers. Now let's see which one will be the strained highly energetic isomer, which will be the stable less strained isomer. Here in ethane, the two groups was hydrogens, but here the two reference groups are methyl groups, and thus the steric strain will also increase and electron pair repulsion, that is torsional strain, will also be there in the molecule. Let's analyze the conformational analysis of N-butane, their energies and energy profile type. Okay, let's summarize, let's revise the angles and rotations. 0 degree, sym-periplanar. 60 degree, Cauchy. 120 degree rotation, anticlinal. And 180 degree anti-periplanar. Now again 240 rotation, you will get anticlinal. 300 rotation, you will get Gauchy. And if suppose this methyl group is rotated here in clockwise direction, in conformational analysis, remember that keep one of the carbon steady. We are keeping the frontal carbon steady and rotating the rear carbon. 60 degree Gauchy, 120 degree anticlinal, 180 degree anti-periplanar. Again 240 degree clockwise rear carbon, you will get anticlinal. 300 rotation, you will get Gauchy, and again 360, you will get the same molecule, that is syn-periplanar. Let's see the energy profile diagram for these molecules. I will draw this figure and then I will explain it. Okay, on x-axis, angle of rotation. Y-axis, it is energy. Okay, at 0 degree, syn-periplanar. Since these two methyl groups, they are closer to each other, nearest to each other. The distance attained between these two methyl groups is very less. They are maximum closer to each other, nearest to each other. The strain is high, steric strain due to bulkiness of these two groups, as well as the torsional strain, that is inter-electronic repulsion between this CCH3 bond and rear CCH3 bond, electron pairs between these two bonds. It is highly strained, highly energetic. This is syn-periplanar. Then you are rotating the molecule 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree. When the angle is attained 60 degree, you will get the Gauchy. Now the steric strain is somewhat relieved comparatively to syn-periplanar. The steric strain is comparatively relieved. Angle attained between the two methyl groups is 60 degree. Strain decreases, energy also decreases. Gauchy. What is the angle on x-axis? 60 degree. Now again we are rotating the molecule. We are rotating the methyl group. As soon as it attains 120, it attains the partially eclipsed isomer, in which methyl group eclipses with this hydrogen. Since they come closer to each other, again strain increases. Strain increases, energy increases. So this is anticlinal. But energy of anticlinal is not same to energy of syn-periplanar, because in this eclipsing is between two bulkier methyl groups. In this the eclipsing is between methyl group and hydrogen group. So I have written this anticlinal at somewhat less height. Then comes the rotation. Again with 60 degree you will get anti-periplanar, which is the most stable conformer of N-butane. So energy shown is very less. Okay, this is anti-periplanar. Again we are rotating our molecule along the carbon-carbon single bond. If you rotate again with 60 degree, you will get anticlinal. So this is again anticlinal. Again we are rotating the molecule along the carbon-carbon single bond. You will get Gauchy. When the rotation will be 300 degree, you will get the Gauchy isomer. And finally, when you achieve the rotation of 360 degree, you will get syn-periplanar. You will get syn-periplanar. Now, energy gap between your anti and syn-periplanar, most stable, least stable is 18 to 25 kilojoule per mole. Energy gap between anti-periplanar and Gauchy is 4 kilojoule per mole, and energy gap between anti-periplanar and anti-cleaner is 14.7 kilojoule per mole. Okay. Syn-periplanar, least stable, highly energetic. Gauchy, partially staggered, stable, least energetic, less energetic. Then anti-cleaner, partially eclipsed, energetic. Then fully staggered, most stable, least energetic, anti-periplanar. Again, rotation of 240, you will get anti-cleaner, 300 Gauchy and 360 Syn-periplanar. Look, 120, this is 180 degree, got anti-cleaner at 240, Gauchy at 300 and 360, you will get Syn-periplanar. Okay, this is all about conformational isomerism in N-butane. In today's video, in today's lecture, we have seen two conformational isomerisms. First, in ethane, staggered, eclipsed, skew. In N-butane, they are divided into fully eclipsed, partially eclipsed, fully staggered, fully eclipsed, Syn-periplanar, partially eclipsed, anti-cleaner, fully staggered, anti-periplanar, and partially staggered Gauchy. Thank you.